What I'm about to explain to you, if you haven't heard it before, is a completely new way to imagine your life and a brand new perspective about looking at reality. For many years, I've seen so much about the many ideas and concepts about spirituality, religious arguments and theories, levels of energy, levels of consciousness, vibrations, and all of these things. But nothing has ever really made any sense to me. I don't believe it matters what you study. I see school and university as a tool to simply provide you an education of some kind. If you want to be an engineer and design things, you can buy the undergrad and postgrad books for about £300 and you're good to go. That said, I've studied civil engineering and mechanical engineering. I've always had an interest in science and reality itself. For as long as I can remember, I've always questioned where it is that we are and the questions surrounding our reality. I look out for new theories and ideas in search of a unifying source of our creation. I have a deep interest in people and why people do what they do because I've always wanted to create myself. I used to look back at Leonardo and still do. Leonardo, Newton, and Einstein as three prominent scientific figures that I've always enjoyed learning about. Imagine there was a way to link our perception of time and the ability to change ourselves and alter the course of our future at any moment we choose to. Well, you're about to know how we do this. In physics, generally, we need to describe things relative to each other in order to understand the behavior of how something works, like a particle or a system of some kind. Right now, we can only perceive time as humans, not in terms of the physics of large celestial bodies that alter the fabric of space-time to change speed and relative orbital zones. When we think of time, and we only have our eyes to use as a tool to judge it, it's not something we can actually see, but we do notice it through the sense of looking at things moving relative to each other. Essentially, we see things as they are happening, and if time were to stop, there would be nothing to see. You'd be frozen in time, it would be picture perfect, and like a picture you'd put in a frame, you'd be in that picture, in that frame, in that moment of time. Time is essentially an inconceivably small amount of these frames happening per second and makes time appear to be in a continuous and harmonious flow. But the moment we view things from this perspective, we can see reality is just moving through you at these speeds, which is why it can feel impossible to make a choice or change any of it, because it just seems to flow continuously and doesn't stop. Here's the secret. You can see that reality is happening really quickly, but you can choose at any moment in time in any of those frames to choose what the rest of the frames are going to look like. They don't have to flow based on the frames previous to what you have just experienced. What you can experience can be anything you want based on the decisions you make right now in the frame that you are in. The frames and reality will continue to happen for you to allow you to make your choice in what you choose and what frames come next in your reality. The main way to make a choice to do what you want in any frame of your choosing at any moment in time is to first imagine where it is you want to go and what it is that you want to do. That's enough to spark the rest of the frames and the rest of reality that is flowing through you to continue moving forward, but this time in any direction you choose, not in the direction life chooses for you. And that's the truth, really. If you don't make a choice, life will do it for you. Life requires us to make choices because without them, it happens anyway, except for the people who are already making their own choices. Because what happens to us ends up being a consequence of their choices if we don't make the choice for ourselves. You can't escape life. You're here whether you like it or not. And that's a good thing. Life can bring endless suffering to other people, and I have no understanding or justification for this. There can be no understanding or justification for the endless suffering of the innocent people we share this planet with. The only thing we can do is to choose to view life from perspectives that allow us to live life in the ways we choose to do so and not in the ways life would choose for us. How many times have you experienced life in ways where no matter what, You always seem to be struggling, where everything seems to be difficult. Sometimes you have a moment to relax, but in that relaxation, your situation never changes, and nothing seems to be happening in the long run of the life you are living. You can change that. You can change all of it. The only thing it takes is time. You have to give yourself time. A lot of people are punishing themselves because they do not have the things they believe that they want in the immediate present, because they see those things in their mind, but they do not see those things in their reality. And this understandably causes them to feel frustrated and angry with themselves and with the world around them. The shortest distance between any 2 points is a straight line. Your vision is one point in a point in time in your future you're not currently present in. The other dot is you right now in the immediate present, imagining the future that you want for yourself. Without two dots, there can't be a future for you to travel to, and without you being aware of who you are right now and what you're capable of, you'll never create the dot that is the version of you in the present, that is right here and right now. We can use time as a tool. We should be using time as a tool. We need to look at time as something we can use. We need to make time physical and malleable, like we can hold time in our hands. We need to use time to create versions of the future we want by thinking about that future in the immediate present. No one can tell you exactly what to think about, because the future version of you should come from the version that you are right now in the present. You have to develop that future. No one can do that for you. One thing is obvious: with enough time, you can create any life that you want. As far as we know, we only have one life, and we should take advantage of it. What a waste it would be if we didn't use the time that we have to do the things we want to do. I spoke to someone recently who just didn't seem to be living the life they wanted to live. They were always tired from work, from their job, from their family, from the world, and over enough time dealing with all of these things that's making them tired, you can only imagine how tired they must really be. They said, if I'm working all day and when I get home, I'm working too, cooking dinner, washing my clothes, having a shower, eating my dinner, washing the dishes, and by the time I'm done, I have no more time left to do the things I want to do. And don't get me started about the weekend. From all the work I've done during the week, well, I've got no energy left. When I have no time, I'm using my energy to work, and when I have time, I have no energy. A lot of people would think, well, sure, how could you change your life when you have no time or energy to change? And that's just the thing, isn't it? If we don't change, nothing will. You can't expect your life to change unless you first change yourself. Change has to come within before it can be seen in the external. If you have no goals or a vision, then of course you have no time or energy to dedicate yourself to achieving them. Do people in an emergency have any time or energy to save themselves from harm's way? Or do they foster every fiber of their being to make sure they stay alive? Now, I'm not saying you have to live on adrenaline your whole life or stay in a motivated state. But the only way you're going to be able to make any changes to your life is if you start by changing yourself. If you look at life the same way every day is going to be the same and nothing is going to change. The moment you have a vision or something in your future to focus on is when you'll always have some time or energy to dedicate to doing the work that's going to take you where it is you want to go. Use time as a tool. You have an abundance of it. You just have to shape it in the many ways you want it to be in. You and time are here to be used in harmony to create your future. Well done, guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep it up and be the change you want to see in the world. Follow for more. Thanks. Danleo. Thank you. Well done, guys.